Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I'm thrilled to talk to you about my experience at 2024 Board Game Geek Convention. This is a really special year for me for a variety of reasons, but I want to talk about my experience there, some of the events that I did that are some of my favorites, the games that I played, and kind of like my final takeaway. So the one thing that made this year super unique was that I went on crutches. About 2 weeks before the convention, I broke my ankle, and boy did I do it really good. And I remember the first thing I thought when I came out of surgery was, oh no, I might not be able to make it to Board Game Geek. And that was kind of like my biggest goal. And I was healing, but I was also like striving to make sure that I could keep my plans to go to Dallas. And I did. And it was tough. But if you saw me scooting around in an electric scooter, that was me. I saw a lot of people said hi. Everybody was super helpful, and I just can't thank the convention, everybody there for really accommodating my special needs, and it was fantastic. So overall, had a really good time. And I was able to play some new games, some hot games, and some games that I was really interested in trying. The first thing is that when you go, they give you games as part of your ticket badge. So these are the two different combinations of games that Lewis and I walked away with. So the first thing is we both got no thanks, which, as you know on my channel, I had a whole thing with the no thanks, and I gave some copies of no thanks away. These are just good. These are staple games. This is the game. Everybody should have a no thanks in their collection, just hands down. So these are going to be some games that I give away to friends that don't have their copy yet. But no thanks is brilliant. I love it. I'll never stop loving it. It's fantastic. So we got a couple extra no thanks. It's always nice to have that. This is Time Division by Heidelberg, and I have been doing some videos for them, essentially tutorial videos, and I have been really digging their card games. This one in particular has a lovely two-player challenge. So if you haven't heard of Time Division or you got it, jump into it for sure. This will provide you with a lovely challenge, and I think the design and the color and the artwork here, fantastic. And then the other game we got was Grifter's Nexus, and this one is Lewis's, and he said that he really enjoyed Grifters and is dying to jump into Grifter's Nexus. So we got some really great free giveaway games just for going to BGG. So these are the ones that we walked away with that we still haven't opened. Obviously, you see them still shrinked, but those are going to be the ones that are part of the convention. You see a couple other games out here. I promise I'll get to them when I get to them. But what I want to do is just walk through my convention, getting there on Tuesday night. I walked into one game and it was late that night, but boy, was it exciting. It was Black Forest by Uwe Rosenberg. And I honestly, it just wasn't necessarily on my radar, not because I don't like the game or had heard bad things, or, I love Uwe Rosenberg. So I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Played the game, loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is the kind of game that I get and that I keep playing because there are a variety of paths to victory. And I really like a couple of the core mechanics, moving your figure, having to travel paths on the main board. So you're essentially paying a particular resource to move, but if you move to a location where there is another player, you then have to pay them a resource. And the way that the resources work is a la Glass Road. So you've got two dials and the wheels will move when you spend resources, and the dial will crank forward. All of a sudden, you're down resources because of the way the system works. It's a fascinating mind bend, but just enough crunch to really satisfy players. Really, really cool. So Black Forest just started off dynamite. Honestly, fantastic. Moving on to Wednesday, I played a Freedom and Freeze game. I will never turn down a Freedom and Freeze game. This one is called Fishing, and it had a real twist on trick-taking. Absolute mind bend. And I've been playing so many trick-taking games. I honestly said before the convention, I am trick-taking out. I am trick-taked out. I don't want to do anymore. And then we played this, and I was like, wow. Really, to just to capture this in a wave after wave after wave of taking tricks and digging or diving deeper into a deck that gets better and better. So the fewer tricks you take, the fewer points you earn in a round, but the possibility of you gaining the better cards, thus earning the tricks in later hands, is the way the game works. It's fascinating, fascinating. So yes to fishing, really, really liked it. And then the other game I played on Wednesday that was actually really fun and creative and definitely one of those kind of charming games is called Superstore 3000. This game is by Space Cowboys, and it's a game from 2024, and you are essentially creating this mega mall, and you do so by having goals of particular customers or consumers who want to buy certain things. And so you're taking these people and then you are moving them around inside of your mall as you build it store by store, floor by floor. And if you qualify for your personal objective or global objectives, you get to add these wild pieces to your superstore. And then you're going to score up all your points earned, and it's just fun. It's charming. Everyone's store is going to look different. A nice light strategy game that just has a lot of charm, honestly. So that's my Wednesday. Moving into Thursday, I went to the exhibitor hall, and I have to say, overall, exhibitor hall, a little bit of a letdown this year. There were very few demos and board game or tabletop game locations inside of the exhibitor hall. But the couple that I visited, we essentially patroned. So we did a demo run through of Slay the Spire, the board game, and then also SETI, or in this case, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And those were two games. The bottom one, of course, my husband, he really, really loves the game. I've watched him play the video game. I can't even tell you how many hours I've seen this video game. And of course, when I sat down and played, I went, yeah, this is the video game that I've been watching you play. This is cooperative though, and includes more players than just the one player. So I think we'll get loads and loads of fun out of this. Essentially, you are playing cards together to go from challenge to challenge to challenge, kind of like a leveling up, where you continually make your deck better, but you also are encountering tougher and tougher baddies. And then in SETI, this is that juicy, juicy game. I mean, what is it? It says 40 minutes per player. So even if you're playing 2 players, expect an hour and a half minimum. So maybe even longer than that. It plays 1 to 4. And we played 2 rounds out of the 4. And both of us were so charmed by the game, by the possibilities, by the really, really cool use of your hand, your cards, just a couple of resources, essentially energy and money, but the way that you could just direct your turn and the game really blossoms. The thing about SETI though is that players are going to be going out or ending their round whenever they can't do anything else. And so this has the possibility for players to really do that big turn where they just keep having more things and getting more stuff and gaining this and gaining that. And another player might kind of poop out early in the round, but there's always a chance for replay. So that's something that I'm going to keep in my mind, because I started to see that happen just in the first 2 rounds that we played, but I appreciated the demo. Cannot tell you how wonderful the demo was. Just jumping into the game and playing it as opposed to learning everything all at once was just a fantastic way to learn. So these were the 2 games that we picked up the day we went to the demo hall, and I will give a shout out to All Play for just having a dynamite booth and to have tons of tables set up for their small box games, for their medium-sized games like River Valley Glassworks, and then having another space for their teeny tiny card games, which are the smaller than the small box games. I think they've just got something fantastic going on. The reason I didn't play at the booth was because they had so many of their games in a library, and I ended up playing a ton of their small box games that I had not already purchased. And I also will shout out to the video I just did for Lure, one of their small box games that I absolutely adore. So that's going to be my exhibitor hall and getting SETI and really just sitting down and playing this. Liked. The last game on Thursday that I played is a big group game, and there's nothing better than when I go to BGG And I play with my friends. We have just like a bunch of people around, 8 people, 10 people, who knows how many people. And we play these big games, these party games, these word games, and things like that. This game is called Secret Identity. I didn't get to play it last year. I think they broke it out then. So for me, it was new. And in Secret Identity, players are going to have a secret identity that is out on this central playing area. There are 8 secret identities. And what you do is you look at some pictures in your hand and you will be able to give people hints as to who you are, which secret identity you are on the table by saying that it is like your character, maybe in the middle, or not like your character at all. And all you do is put a picture in there, and that's it. And you are going to pass your board, and then players are going to look at your clue, look out at the board and say, oh, I think you're Bruce Willis. And then they'll put their guess in that first key slot and then pass it. So it's all about passing your boards. You're doing everything is simultaneous the entire round, getting the clues together simultaneous, guessing simultaneous. And then, of course, there's the reveal, which is so fun. It's kind of like playing telestrations. And then everyone reveals, oh, this is, where it went to. This is where it started. Very, very fun to watch that kind of devolve. Absolutely hilarious. I really, really enjoyed that. It is great with a big group, but it's just loads and loads of fun. So Secret Identity, I had a really good time with. Party game. Moving on to Friday, I played a game that is just a riot. It is a bunch of dice rolling and you can't take it too seriously, but I had a lot of fun. And that's one thing that I absolutely take into consideration when I'm playing a game. Am I having fun? Yes? Check. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. So this game is called Panda Royale, and players are going to have a set dice collection that they start with. And then there are 10 rounds of dice rolling, and it's all simultaneous, and you will roll your dice and then mark down all of your points. And there are different colors of dice, different sides of dice, and different functions of your dice. So at the end of every round, players are going to be able to draft a new die that's drawn from the bag. And there are, of course, ways to steal dice and to, do interesting things with your dice, with multipliers, with negatives, with, who knows what. So fun. I played it at a big group. I think there were like 6 of us. Just a lot of fun. I don't know. I just want to roll a bunch of dice. So Panda Royale. And then I followed that up with Cities. I have been seeing a bunch of talk about Cities. I thought Cities was delightful. It is a nice, light tableau building game where players will take one of 4 things. They have essentially 4 little meeple things that keep track of their selection, and you will be picking a card or a tile or a teeny tiny chit, or you'll be picking these little structures that become your towers. When you pick one, you take one of the available, and then the next player is going to go and pick in any of the 4 different rows anything that's remaining. So you essentially are going to get first nab at something probably, but if you've taken from that particular row, you can't take another thing from there. There's one for everybody. So you're kind of deciding, do I get the tile so that I can put down the little towers, or do I grab the card first, which scores something because I really want to score this thing at the end of the game? Am I going to go and grab the little bitty chit that gives me bonuses on my oceans or bonuses on my grass, because there are little bitty pictures that give you statues or point multipliers at the end for variety? It's really delightful. It is fun. You start off with your tiles, and then you will just essentially build into a 3x3 grid. When that's done, the game is over. Light, fast, nice selection, and nice competition with players. You are competing, but you're also, you're competing. There are some global objectives. First come, first serve. You get the highest points. But there's just enough friction. I liked it. I think it's charming. In a nice little box. Perfect. So Cities ends my Friday, and then I got one game on Saturday and one game on Sunday that I really enjoyed. The one on Saturday is Rajas of the Ganges, Cards and Karma. So this is Rajas of the Ganges. I have covered the board game, I've covered the dice game, and now the card game. I liked this better than I liked the dice game, and I like the dice game a lot. I love the board game, Rajas of the Ganges. In this card game, though, there is this fascinating pressure. It's a race from the start to flip over all of your cards in front of you. And when you flip over all 6 of these cards, one at a time, essentially you're getting a bonus. And it's great. So when you flip over a card, you get the bonus, and you are looking out at a tableau of cards in the center, and these cards do all the things that the base game does, like offering those special people, offering trades or market opportunity. The ships and the boating is also there as well, and so are the specialized buildings, the silver, the gold, or the copper building. It's really, really fun, and you just do one action, go around the table, do a second action, and then you pass the first player turn order marker. And I think the most fun that we had was flipping over the elephant to the backside, and it's kind of adorable and cute, but when you flip it over, it turns into the backside of the elephant, and the first player is going to get a bonus. And it's kind of like the best thing ever. I was thinking about like Antique. Every time a round happens, at the start of the round, everybody gets $1. I was kind of like, this is the dollar, like give me my dollar. So really, really nice, light, fast, fun game. Again, it's a race though, so keep that in mind. I was charmed by it. And then on Sunday, we played In the Footsteps of Mary Curie, and that was the last game that I played at the convention before the library closed and we had to turn the game back in. But I was really charmed by that as well, and it's nice. There's some lovely dice rolling and collecting of, or dice rolling, I say cubes. You take cubes essentially and drop them through this cube tower that has all these different, essentially like, blocks and stoppage and kind of like network in there to kind of like hold on to cubes and then later shake them free. And so what cubes come through are the cubes that a player has to then take into their collection. And you're essentially doing, beakers, and you're essentially trying to fulfill all these different, personal obligations. And there's this track marker that's moving closer and closer to the end. So the end game is very clearly noted. And it's very obvious there are going to be benefits or opportunities along the way, depending on where that marker rests. Nice, light, fun, charming. And the cube tower, really, really cool cube tower, and the way the system works with what cubes are dropped. So a nice way to end my convention was In the Footsteps of Mary Curie. And I will just give a quick shout out to a game that is now quickly becoming a staple at BGG with our friend Greg. Greg teaches us and plays Wings for the Baron with us, and Lewis and I adore it. It's very fun, and I think I'm becoming addicted to it. So maybe you'll see in one of my future videos me kind of like hashing out and explaining to you what makes Wings for the Baron so fun. Okay, so that's going to end my recommends. I will say that I picked up this game, Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. This was getting a lot of talk. I saw a lot of people playing it and really enjoying it. I think this is going to be one of the hot games coming out of BGG, and I'm going to have a whole video dedicated to this. It is obviously Duel, a 2-player game, and it really does take a lot from Seven Wonders Duel. So if you look at the back or you look at any of the photographs of it, you're going to see that it has a very similar card drafting system, but it also has an area map. That's going to be part of it, but there are 3 ways for either player to win, and in one case you're playing as Sauron, or you're playing as the Fellowship of the Ring, and yes, Antoine Bauza, Bruno Cathala, 30-minute game for 2 players, definitely has that feel for Lord of the Rings, but takes some from the design of the other, which I've already mentioned. I'm obviously playing as Sauron. Lewis always plays the good guys. I always play the bad guys. So really, really looking forward to it. And then another game. This is a game that I can't personally attest to because I was introduced to this game. I sat through the whole rulebook instruction and sat at the table until I had finally just gone tuckered because of my leg. I had to take it a little bit easier this year. I couldn't do everything that I normally do. I kind of got up a little later and took a couple naps during the day. So I actually took a nap through Salton Sea, but my husband was absolutely enamored by this and had to get this game. I have to say I've been charmed by Devere and their games that are this size lately. Sand wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I would go back to White Castle and Red Cathedral any day of the week. So Salton Sea, I am looking forward to playing, and hopefully I'll be able to get just a review of this game up on my channel. So a couple things left. You've probably seen this little hippopotamus out on the table this entire time. My friends and I have begun these kind of competition or challenge games that we have just made for ourselves. And it's a fun way for us to get together, to challenge each other, and again, to have a lot of fun. And one of them is called Only Connect. It is a British TV show that's hosted by Victoria Corrin Mitchell, and this is the 3rd year running, and instead of Lewis and me running it together, which the first 2 years we did, we got to play this year. So this is our 3rd annual Only Connect, and this is the traveling trophy that the teams get to sign. So 2022 is here, 2023 is here, and then this year's 2024 is signed right here on the snout. And we had a blast. Our friend Andy really loved the system and created a super hard, obscure Only Connect for us, which was just amazing. It was so fun, and he gave us treats and candies and chocolates, and he's just lovely. So that was fun. Then we had Taskmaster, which is another UK or British competition show, and there were 8 of us competing in that, and it was just so much fun. There were 10 obstacles or 10 challenges, either individual or team-based, and it was just, again, so much fun. I love these TV shows, so if you've ever heard or not heard of those, Only Connect and Taskmaster, just so much fun for me, so much fun to do those. I mean, it's just fun. And then the last thing is that we always do puzzle hunts. And puzzle hunt this year, we always comes in a manila envelope, and you pull out your puzzles, and you have essentially 2 hours to complete these puzzles. This year's puzzle was delicious. It was delightful. It was fun and challenging. The meta puzzle was the most fun when you finish the puzzle itself and then go into the end game. And I don't know if you see here, this little gold glare on my thing. This is a sticker that I got because we were able to finish the puzzle hunt, and we had our names in the drawing for the grand prize, which we didn't win, but to finish and to essentially, round out our BGG experience with just another puzzle hunt. Just so much fun. I love puzzle hunt so much. And my teammates, Eric, Andy, Lewis, and then myself, just so much fun. So that's going to be it. I had a great time. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to put up a picture at the end of this video that lists off all the games that I played, and then a general thumbs up or thumbs down or a check mark or an X that just simply shows you, will I play this game again, or will I kind of pass on this game? And so you'll see a comprehensive list of everything that I played at BGG, and then what I thought about those games, not just the games that I highlighted here in this video. So thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next year at Board Game Geek Convention in Dallas. If so, please say hi, introduce yourself, and hopefully I won't be on those crutches again. Wow, what a challenge. What a fun challenge, right? Okay, everybody, I will see you later. Bye.